Thank you so much. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jason Voss, co-founder and CEO of Deception and Truth Analysis. What happens when you cannot identify deceptiveness in your financial or due diligence work? One answer is coming from the University of Chicago, who earlier this year did research which found that 38% of companies are likely engaged in some form of corporate reporting malfeasance. They also estimated that around 11% are likely guilty of some form of ding, 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 fraud, as we just heard. As a former and award-winning mutual fund portfolio manager, I've always wondered, how do we combat this problem to ensure that our investment decisions are made with the very best information? Deception and truth analysis, or D.A.T.A, is a force multiplier that allows investment teams to rapidly surface actionable investment insights. We do this by examining documents for their level of deceptiveness and truthfulness. Documents like 10Ks, 10Qs, and on the private market side, things like due diligence questionnaires, private placement memoranda. We can assess almost any document of your choosing. We have been double-blind scientifically tested at 88.4% accuracy among multiple other forms of validation in our ability to discriminate between deceptiveness and truthfulness. Additionally, our primary output, the D.A.T.A score, has been shown to be predictive of future and consistent alpha generation. And this is what I meant when I said D.A.T.A is capable of surfacing actionable investment insights. So what are we based on? We're based on more than 100 years of deception science. We then use NLP to look for more than 30 known behavioral differences between deceivers and truth tellers. And because we use computers, we're 350 times faster than people. And this is what I meant when I said we are a force multiplier. Let's take a look at our products. We have two. Database is where I'm going to start. Database, which should be on your screen right here, is a structured data set made up of almost every US equity, and their documents, 10Ks, 10Qs, proxy statements, S1s, 8Ks, and later this year, transcripts, are pre-scored for their level of deceptiveness and truthfulness. This history goes back to the first quarter of 2008, and it's updated near real time. In fact, we may see a document update while I'm standing here. Database solves multiple problems that investors face. Let's look at the typical job flow or workflow of an investor. Job 1, establishing the investable universe. Job 2, how do I identify criteria that tell me something should leave the universe and go to job 3, which is greater due diligence scrutiny. Job 4, we don't really have a say-so in. That's your buy-sell decision. Job 5, ongoing due diligence, we absolutely do. So let's assume here that we're wanting to use database to establish a investment universe. So I'm going to select documents so far for this year. I'm further going to assume I'm going to look at 10Ks and 10Qs. And then let's throw in a wild card here. Let's say I'm at a mid-cap mutual fund, and we're down to 692 documents, not very interesting, but remember I said that D.A.T.A scores are predictive of future outcomes. Further, we've been double-blind scientifically tested 88.4% accuracy to be able to discriminate between deceptiveness and truthfulness. So if I want my investment universe to be a clean universe, one with good governance, think of the greenwashing implications, then all I need to do is select D.A.T.A scores, which are truthful, and our positive scores are indicative of truthfulness, negative scores indicative of deceptiveness. So in doing this, I've reduced the S&P 400's total documents this year of 700 down to 465. And because of the statistical certainty, and because of the probability, and because we're grounded in deception science, you can be assured that this is a pretty clean universe. That's a big deal, because in several clicks I've shown you how you can eliminate a lot of other due diligence work that you might otherwise have to do. But let's get tricky. Let's further assume that I am a software analyst at this due diligence, or at this mid-cap mutual fund, and I want to examine my coverage universe. So I can reduce the coverage universe down to 18 documents. I know that these companies that have minted these documents are likely also have good governance. But remember job 2. Job 2 is, how do I notice a state change that tells me, let's not continue to look at the investment universe, let's do a deeper dive. Well, something's going to stand out here for everybody. If I click on D.A.T.A score change year on year, you'll see that Fair Isaac Corporation is currently scored as truthful, but it's fallen 22 points in the last year-over-year period. Had it retained its score, it would actually be the second most truthful company in this data set. Instead, it's fallen. So my analyst, the mid-cap one, harried likely by earnings season, now has in several clicks exactly the company he should be paying attention to. I don't know if anybody in this room knows Fair Isaac's stock story, but guess what? It's been on an upward trajectory. I would argue that this is probably not priced in. But wait, there's more. So if I click on Data Redline, our premium product, I'm now going to see an intra-document view of this 10Q. Here on the left, you'll see the 10Q rendered. On the right-hand side, you see the intra-document narrative, which shows these fragments. And you can see that this fragment right here is its most deceptive, and that its annual recurring revenue is something this analyst ought to be concerned about. That is how data is a force multiplier that rapidly surfaces actionable investment insights. Our second product, My Data, we're confident we have a general deception detection algorithm, and we turn the power of the algorithm over to you, and you can upload almost any document of your choosing. We're going to look at Sam Bankman-Fried's congressional testimony from early December. We scored this on January 25th. It scored overall as truthful, but 60% of it scored as deceptive. When I fire this up, you're going to see something quite interesting. One, this fragment here, where he's truthful about the fact pattern about how FTX disintegrated. Duh, he'd be dumb to lie about that. It was a matter of public record. Two, he's irritated by this guy, John Ray. John Ray is the administrator of the Chapter 11 filing. So he's honest about his frustration there. But now imagine I'm a congressional staffer, and I'm converting his testimony into text, feeding it to the data algorithm. I can see right here in his most deceptive fragment, he's being deceptive about Alameda Research. Folks, Friday, just before this conference started, John Ray, the aforementioned, filed a lawsuit against the FTX founders because of malfeasance at Alameda Research. You didn't have to wait until that news on Friday. We surfaced it months ago. And this, my friends, is why I said data is a force multiplier capable of rapidly surfacing actionable investment insights. We'd love it if you came by our booth. We'd show you how you can do this for your team. Thank you very much.